Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. It's Mark here from Digital Groove Online, and on today's video we're going to look at timing vocals within your track, particularly around remixing. New producers find it quite hard to time vocals within their tracks, and I'm going to show you a quick and easy method on how to carry out your favourite remixes, get it into a software and isolate the vocal, get it into Ableton, and then get it timed within your project. Quite easy without messing about with warp markers. So let's just jump right in. I've already got the track downloaded that we're going to work with. It's an old house track, and I will just bring it into, well, I was going to bring it into Ableton Live first, but no, what we'll do is we'll bring it into a software online called Fadr. If you haven't used Fadr already, there is a free stems extractor within the website itself, and it allows you to drop your track in there as long as it's MP3 format or WAV, and it will split it down into a couple of different sections. It will separate the drums, it will separate the vocals, it will separate the bass, and then there's another one called Other, I think, and it's sort of your melodics or your effects and things like that. So if you go to this fader.com, create an account that's free, and it does allow you to stem tracks for free. There are additional ones that you can pay a subscription for that allow you to go down further and separate drum stems and things like that. But for the purpose of this video, we're going to jump straight in and use the free version. So if we click on stems, it allows us to upload our songs in here. Now if I go to my desktop, I've already prepared the file that we're going to bring in. It's an old house track called The Push, and if I drag this here and drop it in here, it will get to work. Now it can take a few seconds for this to stem itself down and split it into the categories that we are looking for. It's great for remixes, this, so you can take little samples and things and include that in your original bootleg or remix. Now if you are looking to release this as a cover, you can't whenever you're using original samples from within the original track, but I'm just showing you how to create your own little remixes and bootlegs for your own DJ sets, or if you want to share it among your friends, you can do that also, as long as you're not monetizing it. So we'll let this get to work. We will let it break down into the individual stems, and what we're going to do in this instance is we're going to take the drums and the vocal only. Okay, so when we bring the drums and the vocal into the track, you will be able to time the vocal a lot better. So we're almost there, just give it another few seconds just to finish that off. Just while we're waiting on that, I'm going to tab it over here, get rid of these two MIDI tracks, and drums and vocal. Okay, let's go back into here. We're almost there. As you can see from the past, I've had a right go at it myself, just remixing, editing. It's also great for, putting tracks in that you like and isolating things like drums and seeing how that producer has, used the drums within their track, how they've progressed those drums throughout the track. It's a great learning tool, not just for ripping stuff out and using it from within your own production, but you can also learn a lot from it as well. So you can see that it's split down now into vocals, drums, anything melodic, and then this is bass at the bottom. Now we're going to select the drums, and we're going to select the vocals. So how we do that is we go to download stems, and we can uncheck the boxes that we want to download, and then we want to click on vocals and drums. Once we do that, we're going to download those stems, and they should pop up in the right hand corner here just in a second, and they have. And we're going to bring this and drop it into the same folder where I have the original. Okay, so drums and vocals, and we're going to bring that down, and we're going to pop it into the session. Now you'll probably notice that I selected drums and vocals, and we can only see drums here. That's because the vocal is placed after the drums within the same channel. If we hold down Control inside Ableton, that will drop it below, and we can just drop the two files in there. Now the reason that I brought in the drums with the vocal is because we want to zoom in as much as we can, and if we try to time this vocal within the session, we have a little bit of empty dead space here, so it can be a bit of a nightmare. So we're going to bring this here start point right up to the very start of the drums, and then we know whenever we sync this within our project that the vocal should be in time. So if we click the drums, hold down Control, and that selects both tracks, and we right click on that, and we're going to link those tracks. You'll see that these two little link markers here, and it just means anything that I do on any of these tracks will be the same on the other one. So if I double click, if I double click inside one track, we'll have to make sure they're not highlighted. How's it going to let me do it? We'll just do it here. If I just bring this up, you can see that underneath it's doing exactly the same thing, and that's because we've linked those tracks. So we're going to bring it right up to the very start. I'm going to keep zooming in. Just take these little fades off. And probably there would do us. Okay, that's the very start of the track. Next thing we're going to do is bring it right back to the very start. Okay, and now we can unlink those tracks because they're exactly starting at the same time, and we've put it on the beat grid. And this is beneficial because whenever we start to sync it to a tempo, it will all just work. The next thing we'll want to do then is we're going to bring up Google, and I've already typed it in here. So I've typed the name of the track and the mix that we're looking for, and after it we're going to type in what mix it is. So it's the vocal mix, and we're looking for the BPM and the key. So TuneBat has brought up one here that says it is in A flat minor. The most important thing here, A flat minor is good to understand when you're doing a remix, that's the key the track's in, so that if you're going to do something a little bit different, just make sure it's in that key so the vocal sounds good. But the most important thing we're looking for is the beats per minute, so it's 129 BPM. So if we go up here in the corner and type in 129 and hit enter, as you can see, this looks to have snapped onto the grid perfectly. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is just make sure these are on warp mode now, and that will warp the track to 129 perfectly. If we go to the next one and warp that as well. Because the vocals need to be set to complex pro, if it's in the beats algorithm it can be a little bit glitchy, and I might actually just do that with both of them. So now, because we followed that process, it means now that this is warped and synced perfectly in time, it doesn't really matter what BPM we change this to now. We could do this at 120, we can do this at 140, it should still stay in sync. So let me just bring this down to maybe minus 5. Minus 5. And we're just going to hit play from the start, and you should be able to hear this. So it doesn't matter whether I okay, and just if I bring it over to where the vocal plays as well, we should see that the vocal even speeds up and slows down as well in time. Everywhere I look, it's clear to see. Realizing nothing's what it seems. Okay, so that's a really quick and easy way to get vocals into your session and timed. And it's all thanks to the stem splitter, bringing in the drums and being able to marry that up and make sure that the start point is exactly on point. Drop it into the project, find the original BPM, pop it in, and then we can hit the warp markers from the warp button from then, and it should be perfect. So what we can do now is just delete the original, okay, the original audio at the top, and we can maybe, let's just take this little section here. and loop that. And now we can start with something like drums. Okay, so let's go into drum, down to my sample packs. Let's go with drum construction kit. This is just very, very quick for demonstration purposes, but just to let you know that we can then create our own remix on this. So let's see how that little loop sounds with this, you know. It would help if we done it at a decent BPM. Let's go 125. Everywhere I look, it's clear to see. Realize that nothing's what it seems. Tired of how my mind plays tricks on me. I'm tired of that's just the way that it's always been. Don't know where I'm going, to a world that waits for me. So there you have it. Hopefully, you know, you got something out of that. I do teach people online, and some of the biggest struggles that these guys are coming in with can be around vocals when they're bringing, you know, some of their own tracks to me for further improvement and sort of help along the way. You know, the timing of the vocals, and when I go in, I can see things like, you know, these little warp markers everywhere along the top, and he's time stretching and he's pulling and pushing and pulling just to get the vocal to sit in place. And this is a really, really quick and easy way to do remixes and bootlegs. Get it into your session. Within a couple of minutes there, you could see that it was synced right throughout the project. And as soon as I brought in a drum loop, it was perfectly timed. So I hope you enjoyed that. The video was short and sweet this week, but as I say, hopefully that brings your production game up a little bit, gives you a little inspiration, and gets you started on your next bootleg or remix. So until next time, take care.